People need to see the transition and the expansion. They need to see some of the vulnerability behind the scenes. And if you wait till everything is perfect, then you're missing out on bringing like your magic and your impact to the world. And think about all those people that are watching and they only get to see the highlight reels of businesses. And so they think, well, I can't do it then, I'm not there yet. But if they see you starting and figuring it out, and maybe it's just a Google form and not even a website yet, just do it with the resources and the knowledge you have now, and then just learn how to continue to expand and grow as you go.
Hey mamas, welcome to the More Than a Mother podcast, where we believe you can pursue your dreams and be a great mother at the same time. I am your host, LaJuan Moses, and I am helping you find the freedom to live. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to the More Than a Mother podcast. This is your host, LaJuan Moses, and I'm back with you again for another great episode. If this is your first time listening at More Than a Mother podcast, we are helping moms to create a life outside of motherhood without sacrificing their family time. We believe that moms can pursue their dreams and be great moms at the same time. Joining me today is Aria Leighty. Aria is the founder and CEO of the Mob Nation and Glitter Mindset. Aria is a thought leader, trailblazer, and business mentor. And for almost a decade, she has combined her diverse experience, creative ideas, and wide range of connections and unique perspectives to help women on the edge of change up-level in their businesses and lives. Aria formed Mob Nation from her own need to be connected to other moms in business. We chatted today about her journey with building Mob Nation and how it has evolved over the years. Aria shares her own struggles with imposter syndrome, stepping into leadership roles, and really encourages all of us to own our own power and start to lead by example. Let's dive into my conversation with Aria. Hey, Aria, welcome to the More Than a Mother podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today as my guest.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to be here and for joining me. I'm just so excited that we're finally able to connect face-to-face, Zoom to Zoom, so that we can have this conversation with all the great things that you are doing. But before we get to that point, if you could please just introduce yourself to my audience.
Yeah, of course. I'm Aria Leighty. I am the founder of the Mob Nation, which is a national award-winning alliance of mom-owned businesses. We have leaders and members all over the country that just participate and create our beautiful community.
That's awesome, and that sounds wonderful. But before we get into all you're doing with Mob Nation, at More Than a Mother, we are big on storytelling, as we believe that and know that nobody wakes up and we're suddenly these great creatures that we are today. We all have a story that has brought us to this point. So if you could just share with the audience, what was your aha moment that kind of led you to the path that you're on today?
Oh, goodness. Well, I feel like I have an aha moment every day, especially 2020. It's like the year of like the up level, right? Like there's just something big that happens every day. But in order to start the Mob back in 2012, it was just realizing that networking wasn't set up or accessible to moms that were balancing business. And there just wasn't anything out there that made it feel inclusive and community focused. It was more just like clicks and competitive vibes. So that was the aha moment where I just needed to set out and create something that I was so desperate for as a business owner and a mom.
And I think that's great. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I kind of started this podcast and everything that I'm doing, because when you look out there, there isn't much for moms. When you look around at moms that are business owners, I mean, a lot of things that exist for moms really have to do with motherhood or parenting or kids, but it's not that piece of detaching from that role as a mother was just really missing. So I think that's great that you saw that and recognized that, because I was the same way. It's like we forget that we were humans before we were mothers. So everything that pops up for moms, it's like moms and babies, moms and kids, everything's around the household and kids, which is nothing's wrong with that. But at the same time, there's this piece of us that, okay, we have dreams, we have goals, we're business owners or whatever we're doing. So why can't we embrace that as well?
Exactly. Yeah. And when I say there's constantly aha moments, like just the mob has evolved so much since 2012 because there's consistent aha moments of just like what's lacking in the world for mothers and for business owners, and just it's consistently having to evolve and expand to just meet like the growing needs of motherhood and business.
Right. And it's good that you can be so flexible in that. So when you were first starting out with Mob Nation, how are you feeling, or what did you have any challenges that kind of presented itself as you were trying to unite these moms and mom business owners?
When I first set out, I was just looking for like one other mom that was crazy enough to, I literally said, there's got to be one other mom out there that's also trying to run a business. Let me try to find these people and get them together. The challenge was that since there wasn't something created like this, there was no roadmap of how to make this work. And a lot of people were super hesitant to want to be a part of it because they had such bad luck with other quote unquote networking groups or other business related type events or other like referral based groups. So it was a lot of letting people know that they were safe to join us and that it wasn't going to look the way that they are used to. And yeah, just some hesitation there. There's a lot of people that were scared that they were going to have to leave the part that they were a mother at the door and only come in, and speak about business. And so it's just nice to blend all of it together and be an inclusive space.
Yeah, it's very nice to be inclusive and also be with mothers, because being with like-minded mothers, we understand that life gets hectic. I mean, motherhood, there's no, like you said, there was no roadmap for you building this business. There's no roadmap for motherhood. Right. So really, when we're trying to unite all this together, I mean, it can get hectic, and there are never dull moments as a mom business owner because anything can really happen.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice to just network with your own people and know, like all my Zoom calls, there's usually, especially right now, there's just babies on the laps or whatever, but it doesn't take away from the power that we bring to our clients and our customers and our businesses.
Right. And it's important to show that part, because for so long, I feel like mothers kind of we couldn't embrace that role of motherhood when we were working or being a business owner. Everyone expects professional all the time, but it's like that's just not our reality. I mean, there's going to be a baby. If you have a young baby, that baby may cry, and it's nothing wrong with that. And it's like there's a taboo that you had to leave your motherhood kind of at home or aside. Mm-hmm. So having your platform like Mob Nation, even this podcast here, is really giving moms those empowerment to know it's okay to be that hot mess or whatever's happening in your household at that time, but it's not taken away from your role as a business owner or whatever other dreams and goals you have.
Most definitely. Love that.
Yeah. So what did you kind of learn about yourself as you were going through putting together, connecting with these different moms and bringing everyone in? What was your learning process like?
Goodness. Well, stepping into a leadership role, like all of your limiting beliefs, all of your like unhealed trauma, all of your like outdated stories about yourself, like rise to the top, like, imposter syndrome times 1,000. So I definitely had to continue to heal myself and grow within myself and allow that discomfort within myself so that I could grow into the leader that I wanted to be, because it's so hard to step in front of a group and if you don't have that confidence within yourself. So I definitely learned about all of my little secrets I was keeping locked away as soon as I had to like present myself to the world. So I learned something new about myself every day.
That's good. And the fact that you didn't let that stop you, because so many people feel that you kind of have to have it all figured out. You have to have worked through all your issues, resolved your trauma, your limiting beliefs, and all of that in order to start a business or do something and make an impact. But showing that, okay, I still have these things that I deal with. I'm sure it comes up today, especially with imposter syndrome. I think that's something that is going to always be there as we get to another level. But It's just showing that in spite of these feelings or things that I may encounter, like nothing is going to stop me from reaching my goals.
Yes. And that's definitely something that I like preach to my clients and my members in the mob is just start it now and evolve and expand as you go, because people need to see the transition and the expansion. They need to see some of the vulnerability behind the scenes. And if you wait till everything is perfect, then you're missing out on bringing like your magic and your impact to the world. And think about all those people that are watching and they only get to see the highlight reels of businesses. And so they think, well, I can't do it then, I'm not there yet. But if they see you starting and figuring it out, and maybe it's just a Google form and not even a website yet, just do it with the resources and the knowledge you have now, and then just learn how to continue to expand and grow as you go.
And that's wonderful advice to give, because if you don't start, you're going to be stuck. And that's the way I like to think of it, because we all want to say, oh, we want to wait for the right time, the perfect time, but that never really exists. And the only time we have is right now. And I like the way you put that, how if you're just start with the resources you have, because people want to see that journey. They want to connect with that person. Then that way they're able to accept whatever flaws they have inside of them and can say, okay, if she can do it, then I can do it too.
Yes.
That's why I like using my platform, and I'm sure you using yours to just share like those transparent stories, those behind the scenes moments, just showing like this is real life, but I'm still able to navigate and have this business and run this Mob Nation.
Most definitely.
So tell me more about Mob Nation and its evolution over the years.
Hey there. Yes, you listening right now. I truly hope you are enjoying this episode. I thank you for tuning in each and every week and for showing your support for this show. Your support truly does not go unnoticed. If you truly love this podcast and you are enjoying this episode, please remember to share, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. I want to get this podcast to as many moms as possible so they can start to experience the greatness that you are experiencing on this journey, and so they can have this empowerment, this support, this encouragement poured into them each day. So thank you for tuning in, and be sure to stop by and subscribe and leave a review. Now back to this great episode.
Yeah, so initially I founded it in 2012, like I said, and it was in Portland, Oregon at the time. And we started out with the concept it was just going to be like a networking group. And I started a Facebook group so that we could, swap stories and be there for each other. We met around like my dining room table and at coffee shops. And I just realized that more and more needed to happen. The group continued to grow within the Facebook group. And in 2016, I realized mom-owned businesses need so much more than just networking. They need resources brought to them. They need education. So we really became like a hub, and we launched the Mob Alliance, which is the paid membership version of the Mob. And that includes, you get a directory listing, and we put tons of money into promoting the directory and changing the way that mom-owned businesses are viewed in the world. We do events. Before COVID, we were doing over 30 events per month across the nation and doing meetups and our annual conference. Now all those are virtual, obviously. And then through COVID, we just really learned, how important this type of community is and how valuable this connection is. And we worked so hard to build this little micro economy within the Mob. Like everybody orders from everybody else. We always say there's a mob for that. So awesome. We say, instead of going out and supporting big box retailers, support another mom-owned business, whether it's your clothing, your cleaning supplies, your toothpaste. Like you can't even, look around my house without seeing mom-owned businesses just everywhere, because that's how you change the world and make an impact. So because we built this little microeconomy and have cultivated this culture of going to mob first, then so many of our businesses didn't have a lot of the impacts and the devastation that COVID brought a lot of other small businesses because of this community that we've created all together.
And that's definitely a unique way to look at it, because I'm not a stranger to memberships, but you don't hear of a lot of memberships and groups that have people paying that are really throwing their support back into that group. So, that's really empowering, not only as mothers, but as women and business owners, really empowering each other and showing that this is a community and we want to see each other succeed. So that's definitely
a unique angle, and that's just wonderful. I like hearing that. I'm going to check out these diets when we finish this.
Yes, please. Yeah, we're all about just redistributing the wealth and making sure that we are, getting money into the hands of mothers and women and supporting small first. And 2020 really taught us the importance of it. And I know more people are waking up now to the concept of we need to support small over, these businesses that we tolerate. That's what my CMO says, like the ones that you really want to make an impact in, not the ones that you're just like tolerating that they exist, like put out that extra effort to show up for these small businesses.
And that's so true. And by empowering moms to, one, be business owners, and then also supporting those moms to be business owners, especially in this world of COVID that we're living in while this is being recorded, when there are mothers that are working that may be facing those challenges of now their kids are home and their jobs may be trying to force them to go back to work. And they're looking like, okay, I need to do something to get some income. I mean, having something like Mob Nation to where you're kind of empowering and building that network together to say, hey, you can have a business, you can be a mom at the same time, but not only can you have the business and be a mom, we're going to support you in your efforts to help you kind of make that impact and make that revenue so that you're not feeling like you have to be stuck to this job that's not appreciating you.
Yes. And I've seen a lot of that happen where like moms are like, I need to start something. I've always wanted to like have t-shirts. And then all these moms like hop on and they're like, I can get you into stores. Like I'll buy, let me help you redesign that. Oh, don't go through this company that you're getting your shirts from. Like they just like start blowing everything up. So it's like a crash course in business school plus like instant customers. It's just funny the way that people are like, yes, mama, we will get you there.
That's wonderful. And we've been connected on Instagram. I had no idea that it went to these levels, and just hearing this story and the empowerment behind it. I am all about empowerment. So I am loving everything that I'm hearing right now. I love it. So yes, this is just fantastic.
Thank you.
But yeah, I really love what you're doing, and just hearing that empowerment aspect of it, it really pushes. And with this More Than a Mother podcast, it's all about empowering moms to pursue their dreams beyond motherhood and own their identity beyond motherhood. So it really fits in line with what a lot of our listeners are experiencing. So hopefully with them listening to this and hearing your message, you'll probably get some more Alliance members who are like, hey,
please,
this is what I need.
Most definitely.
So in addition to being founding Mob Nation and running that and all the networks that you have, you're also a mother in your spare time, as I like to say. In the little bit of spare time we have. So what is it like for you being a work-at-home mom during this time, or working mom during this time?
I am blessed because my daughter is 14. So my heart goes out to all of the moms with toddlers or, have to help with the homeschooling right now. So I'm blessed in the situation that I'm in. She's helpful. I mean, the only thing that kind of stinks is she's not as helpful because she's on her own computer doing her schoolwork. So they took my best friend and my assistant away from me. But other than that, yeah, but it's nice. And I like her hanging around, and she gets to do her online school at the dining table while I'm, plugging away at work. But she's always come with me through all of my transitions of business. I was a wardrobe stylist when she was 2, and I took her on a lot of photo shoots and to a lot of the different boutiques that I worked with. When I had my brick and mortar art business, which is what made me want to start the Mob, she would go with me to all the locations and all the events. So she's used to watching me.
That's good. I'm sure that she's learning from you, and that's an empowering aspect of it also, to where you were able to take her with you through all the work that you've done. And so now you're raising a girl who will one day most likely become a mom, and she's seeing from her own mom that, yes, okay, I can be a mother and I can have my business, and it will start that kind of evolution of things to where, as we've seen time kind of progress to where women were in the home and moms were in the home, now we're in the work field. Now it seems like we're kind of transitioning to moms owning that power and saying, hey, I can run that business and be a mom, and we have our little people watching us. So I think that will kind of start to change that narrative in the direction that we're really kind of pushing things.
Yes, they are watching us, and we have to model. I mean, even if you're not going to start a business or, go back to work, even if you are staying at home, which is a phenomenal job and path in itself, they are watching us. And so the best advice that I ever heard, and what really changed the game for me, is I have to treat myself the way that I want my daughter to treat herself. And so I'm not doing anybody any favors by becoming a martyr for motherhood or becoming a martyr for business. Like, I have to pour into my cup to be able to fill her up, to, fill my partner up, to fill my clients up. So it's really important that we show love to ourselves and care for ourselves and set boundaries for ourselves, because we are raising the next generation and we want them to not have to shed all these things that we had to shed in order to step into that power. Like you said, like, we have to love ourselves and put ourselves first, because that's how we're going to get them to do the same.
And that is so true. And I'm a self-love, self-care advocate. So everything you just said is in line with all that I truly believe, because we really do. It's like, we don't have to sacrifice ourselves for motherhood. And I think for so long, somewhere there was this unwritten code that once you became a mom, like, that was it.
Yeah.
Your dreams and goals went out the window and everything went into your family and the household. And it's like, no, I'm still a person. I was a person first. But somewhere that translation, it was just like, okay, once I'm a mom, that's it. Everything goes to everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want her to be that type of mother or partner. I don't want her to put her needs aside to, cater to everyone else and be struggling behind the scenes. So, it's mandatory for you to show yourself love and self-care to be a good mom, a good business owner, a good partner in any way.
It definitely is. Self-care is a non-negotiable, as I like to say.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm sure if you're like me, you had your own struggle with your own self-care and that. So that's how we can speak from a place of experience, saying that I've been there. I gave everything to everybody. And I know me, I was miserable. And it's like everyone else around me was miserable.
Yes.
And you find once you start pouring into yourself and people start to feel selfish and, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, it's wrong. But it's like, okay, it may be selfish, but sometimes it's okay to be selfish, and selfish is not always a bad thing.
It is not.
And you should not feel bad about saying, I need to do something to refill my cup, to recharge myself so that I can be a better human being. And having these conversations kind of starts to empower more women, more mothers, and change that narrative that it's okay to put yourself at the top of your long to-do list, to make sure that you're pouring into yourself every day.
Yes. Yeah. Pour into it. Don't wait till it's on empty or you're completely dry to pour into yourself. You don't earn self-care or self-love. It's something that you do every day as a practice and a lifestyle. You don't have to check off these boxes of all these things you did first before you're allowed to go do whatever self-care means to you,
Right. And that's important, what self-care means to you, because it's something different to everyone else.
Yes.
And people always think bubble baths or things like that. But no,
Right.
Self-care is different. And I can't tell you what's right for you. Like, you can't tell me what's right for me. But it's just whatever works for you, that's your form of self-care.
Yes. Love it.
Do you want immediate access to new episodes, products, events, workshops, and even freebies? Then I invite you to join the More Than a Mother community today. Head on over to lawanmoses.com to get on the list today so that you can be a part of our ever-growing community. I'm so excited to have you here, and it will be just such a joy to have you as a part of my community. And by the way, I don't want you to miss out on all the greatness that is coming your way, all the transformation and just things that we will be doing that will just pour into your life and continue to give you that love, support, and encouragement that you so need right now. So check the link in the show notes so that you can get the correct spelling of my name, and head over to lawanmoses.com to join the community today. So I know you mentioned that MOB is now, it started as a small networking group. It has evolved to resources, to an alliance, and now in its MOB Nation. And you said that you're in how many different locations did you have events going on?
30.
30. That is amazing. And that's awesome. And I'm sure that it's going to continue to grow, especially once we can find a new normal and we can get back to some in-person events. I mean, it's great that you're keeping it going virtual, but I'm sure I can see this just continue to evolve and continue to grow as more moms are empowered and more moms are starting businesses and kind of walking away from that traditional work field. So this is definitely something great to have.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll definitely expand. And it's really great, the virtual format, because people that you wouldn't typically meet are, connecting. We have people from, 12 different states hopping on the different meetups and chatting. And, so many people have online businesses that we have people that, have a VA in Maui and they live in Texas, you know, so there's so many opportunities beyond just your own local community for you to connect with and to learn from, and just to be able to say like, oh, today was hard. And to have people be like, yes, it was.
And that's such a good space to be in, to where you could just be transparent. And because, you know, when someone always asks that question, how are you? What's our response? Fine. But it's good to come into that space and someone's like, how was your day? You're like, it was horrible. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like the person's face, they're not shocked because you said it's horrible, or they're not thrown off because you're not giving them that, oh, it's okay. So I mean,
that's
that's
fine.
That's a refreshing place to be in.
And to be able to share your wins, you know, like I think a lot of people are scared to say, especially right now, are scared to say like, oh, my day was amazing. It was killer. Like I was so successful today, or, you know, everything worked out well for me. Women are so scared about, you know, celebrating their wins and telling people good things. Like if somebody asks you how you are and it's awesome, don't feel shame or guilt to say it was awesome, because we need to see that people are still having awesome times and that the world is not gloom and doom every day.
That is a good point. I mean, especially with that guilt and the shame. And as you said, for some reason, we just don't want to show off our wins, and we want to be modest and feel like it's bragging. But as you said, some people need to hear and others need to celebrate. I had a great day. This worked, because then that gives that other level of encouragement to say that perhaps that same person who had a win this week, last week may have had a horrible week. So by sharing both, it's like, okay, we're seeing that cycle where it's like, okay, it may be bad, but you can bounce back from it. So it's good to have that platform to show that.
All about being real.
Yes, real and transparent. That's what I enjoy. So what would you say has been the most rewarding part of your life journey so far?
Well, obviously, raising my daughter has been awesome, but I think stepping into my own power, like really seeing and honoring the gifts that I bring and the magic that I have, and being able to step into that and then lead by example to the women around me to step into their own power and to cheer them on and to let them know that they can and should win and thrive at life. So it's been awesome to just like be like, you know what? No, I'm good at this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to like, you know, just be confident in my ability to do it.
Well, that's a good place to be in, a good, peaceful, content place to be in. I mean, to me, there's no better place than that.
Definitely.
So I have a lot of moms that listen that right now may be struggling to kind of figure things out, manage life, feel like they're just overwhelmed. Do you have a tip or tips that you could offer to a mom that may be struggling right now to manage life?
Yes, you need to ask for help. You need to, whether that's outsourcing, whether that is just asking, you know, a friend to come over and talk to you. You have to ask for help. You can't do it all by yourself. And if you are killing it at business, then getting a VA, getting a personal chef, getting a housekeeper, all the things that are going to keep you sustained and happy so that you can focus on yourself and family and your business, that is going to be exactly what is needed, and a mandatory investment. Outsource it all. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Outsource and get some help. And for some reason, as women, we don't want to ask for help. Why is that?
Because it goes back to that martyr thing. Like we are told we have to do all of it. And I think, you know, when women made that transition of leaving the home, it was kind of like they had to justify getting everything that was quote unquote women's duties taken care of also. So, okay, great. You can do your little career or your little job that you want to do, but you also have to make all of this be perfect, and you have to look perfect while you do it, and all of the other expectations. But now we know better, and we don't have to carry that stress, and we don't have to carry that guilt or that fear or anything else. Like we are just allowed to thrive and do what we love and don't worry about anything else.
Yes, absolutely. So I like that other part where you said ask for help and outsource, but you dropped it a few times where you said stop trying to be a martyr. So I really love that as a takeaway tip. So if you can tell me, how can our moms get connected with Mob Nation, and where can find you online and all the great information to get connected?
You can visit the Mob Nation at themobnation.com. And you can check out our directory at there'samobforthat.com. You can find me as a business consultant, speaker, mindset coach, arialeighty.com. And I'm on Instagram at Aria Leighty.
Yes. And I see that you have a conference coming up in September.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I would love to. It's called MobCon. Obviously, it's going to be in person. It's 2 days of content and connection and education. There's going to be some incredible, inspiring main stage speakers, and then really tangible, specific breakout sessions that can help you either from like monetize a podcast, self-publish a book, hiring your first employee. Like there's so many different sessions that you can take that you can walk away from the event and put it right into your business and into your life. And there's a big mix on self-care as well as, the personal motherhood as well.
Wonderful. So I'll definitely make sure to link to the conference and the Mob Nation and to your personal links so that everyone can find you and get connected to this great alliance and great nation. So I thank you, Aria, for joining me today and sharing all this great information and empowering messages with the mothers that are listening.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, head over to lawanmoses.com. I love for us to stay in touch. Make sure you leave your email address so I can send you inspiration, tips, and the latest updates. Or, if you prefer, text the word MORE, that's MORE, to 302-440-4632. We have some great things coming up, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Thanks again. Make sure you subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep pressing because victory is yours.